What's up, y'all? It's FTKComputer. Welcome back. How's it going? I'm doing good. I just woke up. So we are here with another episode of Tea Time. I'm glad y'all are enjoying the series so far. For anyone who is new here, you guys send in questions when you need advice about something or want another perspective on something, and I give you my honest, unfiltered opinion on it. Yeah, so if you have questions and want some advice, you send the question to FTKQuestions, FTKQuestions, no space, at Gmail. So yeah, let's just hop into today's question. Okay, so this person didn't sign it as anything, but I'm just gonna read the question. So it says, please shower me with your amazing advice. Sometimes I feel so empty. I don't feel like I want to do anything anymore. How would you cope with this? I really enjoy your vids because they are something I can actually look forward to. Okay, so just to give a small disclaimer, because this question is kind of vague in like scope, right? Like I don't know your age or your gender or your situation, so I'm just gonna answer it from, I guess, what I would do in this situation. And I also like to open it up to the rest of my subscribers. Like, what do you do when you are feeling numb, when you don't feel motivated, when you don't feel like doing anything anymore? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, please write what you would do. That way this person can have multiple, I guess, perspectives on it and not just, me. So yeah, let me start by giving my opinion here. So I'm a huge, y'all might not know this, I don't know, but I'm a huge advocate for mental health. So the first thing I notice when I read this question, right? Like, I feel so empty. I don't feel like I want to do anything anymore. I would say this could just be, sometimes people just feel like this and it's just normal. Sometimes you just don't feel up to it. But I would also say, think about how long you have been feeling like this, right? Like, is this something that you've been feeling lately, or is this something that you felt over a long periods of time that come and goes? Because you may be suffering from depression. And if you are suffering from depression, the first thing I would say is to seek out a professional. There is so much power in, talking to a counselor, right? Or, sometimes people need to go on medication to deal with depression. It's not so simple where you can just kind of grab yourself and lift yourself up out of this feeling if it is depression, right? So I would say, think about how long you've been feeling about this. If you are under the age of 18, I would suggest, tell your parents, see if you can talk to see if there's anyone in your area that deals with this kind of thing, like a counselor, because counseling is a great tool to combat feelings like this, right? So yeah, that's the first thing. And if you're an adult, I would still suggest you go find someone. Hopefully it's covered by your health insurance. Find someone who deals with, I guess, I'd say it'd probably be more comfortable talking to someone who is from your specific background, right? So like, if you're a man, you probably want to talk to another man, or if you're a woman, you may want to talk to a woman. If you're LGBT, you might want to talk to someone who specializes in LGBT stuff. Find someone in your group, who would have experience, I guess, who can relate to you. That's just what I would say. Now, I'm not saying that like a professional who isn't like say you're a guy and you're talking to a woman, I'm not saying that person can't do their job. That's just my, for people who are not used to doing like counseling or things, it can be a bit taxing. So it may be a bit easier to share your entire life story with someone who you feel you relate to. That's all I'm saying there. All right, so that's first and foremost. Now, if this is just something that you are just feeling like, you just ain't been feeling it lately, things haven't been going right, or, sometimes stress makes us feel like this as well. Like when we get too stressed out, we're just like, F it, like everything's just going wrong. I just want to sit in the bed and lay here. So what I personally do, right? One of the things that I've done in the past that I felt was so needed, and I think I may have briefly mentioned this on the other tea time with the girl or the guy, I'm sorry, I forgot what you were, but who was dealing with the shitty boyfriend, or the shitty ex-boyfriend, I guess. One thing that I did when I was feeling like this, like everything was just going wrong. I was having car problems, like I was having trouble in school. I was not getting along. I had a roommate that I just really was beefing with. Like everything was just going wrong, and some days I just woke up and I just wanted to lay in bed all day. Like I didn't want to do anything. So what I did was I planned a vacation with my best friend. So it was just me and her, and we went to Disney World. We stayed for 5 days. It was effing expensive, but like I will say, like we saved up. Like it was planned way in advance. So like not only was the trip amazing and I had such a good time, but it also gave me something to look forward to, because when you have something big like that coming up, it kind of like motivates you to like get everything together for this, and so you can focus on something, because when you have something to focus on, it kind of makes it easier for you to be motivated, or it made it easier for me to be motivated. Let me say that. And now I'm not saying you have to plan some big expensive trip, because honestly, like when you're with your close friends, it doesn't really matter where you go usually, but sometimes it's nice to go somewhere, you know, that you're not used to. Like plan a trip to the beach, you know, go to a big city that you live close to, you know, go to Disney World or Disneyland. I don't know where you live, but like go to an amusement park, you know, plan a day, like a day or 2 days, you know, plan something. Also, sometimes it's okay to just take yourself out, you know, go out, go shopping, buy something you want, you know, treat yourself, get you a, you know, go out and see a movie and go to a nice restaurant. You know, sometimes I do that kind of stuff by myself sometimes when I just don't want to be bothered with people. I mean, it's really like you have to step outside the box sometimes, because you don't know. Like before I started going, like I still go to the movies and go out to eat with friends, but sometimes, like, I don't know, my thing is that when I'm just like annoyed or like I've been stressed out lately, I'll go to like the last showing of a movie. Like it'll be super late, it'll be like 10:45, 11, and like I'll be the only one in the theater and I'll just watch the movie. Like I don't know, it's relaxing to me. So yeah, if you're watching this video, please leave in the comments what you guys do. It's a very broad question, and the good thing about that is like there is no one answer, right? So, you know, give ideas and say what you do when you're starting to feel like this. All right, because that one was kind of short, I'm going to answer another question that is kind of along the same lines, but a bit different. So this one says, yo, I'm Raekwon, I'm 20 years old and back in high school. I did a lot of drugs, Xans, weed, and Molly pretty much every day because I was depressed, and the only time I was happy was when I was using those drugs. After I finished high school, I've never really done anything with my life, and I found myself stuck doing the same thing over and over every day, which is playing games like Overwatch and Fortnite. I found your channel by pure luck 9 months ago and loved your videos because they're pure comedy and the people you find and rank are really hilarious. I've started back using drugs recently, like 3 months ago, mainly weed, and I want to know what you think I should do with my life. I really don't know what I should be doing, lol. Got any ideas? All right, that was a lot of information to be taken in at once. So in answering this, I'm probably gonna sound like I'm your daddy, but I'm gonna have to be honest. Okay, so first thing is, right, the drugs gotta go. Now I say that knowing that it is not easy to stop doing drugs if that's how you cope with things, right? But first you have to realize that you are trying to cope with something. So the first step is finding out what you are trying to cope with. If it's depression, like I said before, I think you need to go see a professional. I think that I think anyone, even if you're not particularly suffering from depression, I think it's very healthy to talk to a counselor, a professional on mental health, because everyone's mental health is important, whether or not you suffer from mental illness or not. But if you are suffering from depression and you use the drugs to cope, that is not good. You know, that isn't good. Now, If you talk to a professional and they decide that you should be medicated, right, to take antidepressants or whatever, then that's, that's different than using weed and Molly to cope with it. So that's the first thing, right? Like, the depression, you have to deal with it. You can't, it's not just gonna go away, right? You can't just will it away, and you can't just wait till it goes away. That's just not how it works. Secondly, I'd say think about, okay, so there are two things here. Since you've graduated high school, first I think you need to decide like what it is that you like. What do you like to do? Or like, what things could you see yourself doing, right? Like, for me personally, like, I always played violin, so it just made sense for me to play music in school, right? I always liked video games. I've been playing video games since I was probably 4 or 5. So it makes sense for me to be a YouTuber. Think of things that you like and that you're good at, and maybe explore those options. And there is nothing wrong with going to a trade school. If it's not, like, college isn't for everyone, maybe college isn't for you, or maybe it is. There's nothing wrong with seeking out a trade. There's nothing wrong with maybe doing 2 years at a community college and then doing the second 2 years at a university. Like, there's so many options. You could also maybe look into doing a gap year program. Even though you're 20, like, it doesn't matter. Like, they have different service programs, different training programs. One of them is like, Disney hires people to work there for like a year or two. There's AmeriCorps that has a lot of different programs. Look for some kind of program, because I mean, I get, playing video games is great, but you have to do something else as well. So, another thing I would suggest, get a job. Even if it's not there's nothing wrong with getting just a simple, job to get you started. Work at a grocery store, work at Target, work at, if you like video games, maybe get a job at GameStop. Talk about games. There's so many different things you could do. I think you just have to really hone in on what you enjoy, or what you could see yourself doing. I don't want to say enjoy, because a job is a job. It's really, I don't know if people out here really loving their jobs like that. If y'all are, let me know. But I think the first thing is to just get moving. Just start something, right? So just one more time, in order from most important to, like, I don't want to say least important, because it's all important, but like, first, the drugs are I'd say the drugs and the depression are the biggest issue, right? So talk to someone, find a professional that deals with addiction or that deals with depression, because you might not even be so much addicted as you're just using the drugs to cope with your depression. So that's 1. 2, get a job. Get a job, even in, no matter what it is. Don't be too picky, but try to get a job doing something that's not super stressful at first. And think about going to school. Think about things that you like to do. I'm not saying you should go to school full time. Maybe work and take like 1 or 2 classes. Feel it out. Start taking some easier courses like art, or I'm trying to think of a course that I really enjoyed. I really liked creative writing. Creative writing was such a fun course for me. I also like sociology courses. As a self-proclaimed social justice warrior, sociology and social justice things were so interesting to me. So yeah, like, take a few courses and just feel it out. Just get started. Don't wait too long to get started, because especially like the longer that you've been out of school, I think your mind kind of like loses that feeling of how hard it is to, just school in general. So that's what I would say. Good luck to both of you guys, because I know y'all are struggling out here. We all struggling, but I really think that you guys the most important thing is to start doing stuff. Just start, even if it's the smallest thing. The smallest movement is still a step forward. So thank you guys so much for sending your questions. If you remember, once again, if you have questions, please email me. And thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Subscribe if you're new. And I don't really have a schedule for these videos. I may do a schedule. I don't know. Maybe it'll be like twice a week. I don't know. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see y'all later. Peace.